Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I'm your host, Ron Dichter. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your support means the world to me. Today I want to get into it and I want to be honest with ourselves. And I want to ask you a question that I need you to really look inside and be truly honest with yourself. Does what you say motivate you? Because if you can't motivate yourself, how are you going to motivate your team? You need to really think about this question, because a lot of times the leader of an organization, or if you're about to embark on starting your own company, you are the vision. The product, the business, the service, whatever it is that you're selling or doing is not really going to be meaningful without the leader that's able to articulate that vision and be able to motivate the team and the customers to do something. So I ask you this question in all seriousness. Do you motivate you? And if the answer to this question is I don't know, well, let's figure it out. If the answer is no, then let's work on it. And if the answer is yes, okay, well then keep doing that, because again, you can't motivate others if you can't motivate yourself. And I don't mean motivation to go do something. Like, I'm motivated to go work out. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have this grandiose vision, this plan, this goal, what you hope to accomplish with this business, and is the vision of what you're trying to do. The words that come out of your mouth, are they conveying that motion towards that vision, towards that goal? And again, if the answer is no, well, we got to find it. And I don't like when people say, well, I just don't have that skill. Okay, well, you started a business, and unless you're planning on bringing on a partner that actually comes to the table with that skill, then it's your skill. You're going to need to figure it out. So stop telling me what you can't do, and let's start figuring out how we can do it. So going back to the question, do the words that come out of your mouth motivate you, and do they motivate you in the direction that you're hoping your business to go into? Okay, so I'm going to do a little self-reflection and tell you about kind of the inner workings of my brain, which is scary because it's sometimes gibberish, frankly. But when I think about this question of does what I say motivate me, I do a lot of things that help me to objectively understand that. I will record myself all the time, whether it be in voice memo on my phone, whether it's recording myself through a video. I will constantly record myself so that I can be objective and critique not only the words, but the body language. Because I think a lot of people forget about the importance of what you're actually saying versus what your body is saying. And so I don't want to make this about any sort of psychological, how do you speak? Like, that's not the point today. The point today is really simply about, do the words that come out of your mouth motivate you? And if they don't, you need to start thinking about, okay, how can I change that? How can I be motivated by my own words so that I know my team is going to be motivated by my words? And recording yourself is one thing to do. Like, let's take this podcast, for example. My kids who are both in college, will often tease me. I think it's endearing, but nevertheless, they're teasing me because I will say things that are a little bit off the wall. So I don't ever listen to these podcasts after I shoot them. I shoot them. I feel like the words that are coming out of my mouth are on point with the message I'm trying to convey. And what happens is when they release, which is usually about 2 weeks after I shoot them, I listen to it. And there's some shows where I go back and cringe a little bit and I say maybe I should reshoot that one. And then there are other ones where I listen to it and I'm like, wow. I'm super pumped up. And I'll send it to my kids and I'll say, hey, you should listen to this podcast. This guy's really motivating. And they'll look at me like, Dad, that's you. I hear this all the time. And I only send it to him jokingly, but my point is that I have to go back and be objective to myself. Like, is this even worth my time? Because if I don't get any value out of this personally, why would you get any value out of it? So I need to start thinking about things, outward focused, if I'm going to be objective about whether or not I motivate me. An outward focus is putting yourself in the shoes of the person listening to what you are saying. So, like, for example, people say, I can't public speak. Okay, well, what does that mean? You can't speak? No, you speak fine, and there's public there, so you mean you get scared when you speak in front of public. Okay, well, be outward focused. Be less concerned about the way you feel, because nobody cares, and be more focused about the audience and what they're receiving. And try to put yourself in their shoes. And I'm getting a little off topic here, but my point behind this is very simply, do you motivate you? And if the answer is no, you've got to work on this, because if you're going to go into business and you're going to start a company from the ground up, you are the person. You are the man or woman that is going to make this happen. And for you to make that happen, you have to be able to inspire and motivate yourself, because if you can't do that, you're not going to be able to do that for others. So it's very important that you ask yourself the honest question, do I motivate me? And if the answer is no, it's something you can work on. It's not something you throw in the towel and you're like, well, I don't have that skill. It's not, it's not how I operate. That is not a factual statement. Everybody has the ability to inspire and motivate. You just have to be authentic. You have to be real. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to speak the truth. So if you started a company and, you're trying to bring the market this new product, this new service, this, better whatever, then you have a reason, you have a vision, you have something that has happened in your brain that said the world needs this, or the local market needs this, and I am going to go out there and give it to them. So talk about that. And so going back to my question, do you motivate you? And if the answer is no, you need to figure out how. And the figuring out how is to be objective. Listen to yourself, record yourself, write stuff down, and as you go back and play it, put yourself in an outward focused mentality where you're putting yourself in the shoes of the person listening to it, and ask yourself the question, will they be getting value out of this? And if the answer is no, go back to the drawing board. Whether it's inflection, whether it's tone, whether you need to get on YouTube or another podcast and start researching how do I, focus on my body language and mannerisms to, mirror what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist on that stuff. That can't help you there. But what I can tell you is that if you're not being honest with yourself and being objective about do you motivate you, then you're gonna have a really hard time bringing on a team, inspiring a team, motivating a team, and frankly, selling. Because if you don't sell something, your company's not gonna make any money, and then you're gonna be out of business. So do you motivate you? And if the answer is no, figure it out. Listen to yourself, record yourself, have others listen to you, have people close to you give you objective feedback, and don't curl up in the fetal position when someone tells you it sucks. Because guess what? We all sucked in the beginning. We were all terrible. My first speech, which I think I actually posted on here, which I was, 19 in front of 100 people in a hotel. I was terrible. But I did it, and the reason I'm here today is because I learned from it, and I, figured out all the things that I'm doing bad and figured out how to do them better. So let me ask you this question one more time. Do you motivate you? And if the answer is no, figure it out. Figure it out by recording. Figure it out by listening. Figure it out by being able to take feedback and criticism. Because if you don't motivate you, you're not going to motivate your team. All right, that's it for the day. Go out there, be authentic, be genuine, motivate your team, but most importantly, if you move you, you're going to move your team. Have a good day, everyone.